Well, Eddie, I know you haven't turned a wheel yet, but start of a new year, aspirations high, of course, in the team. What about you personally, comparing the car that you drove last year to this year? What are your hopes that you'll get into the car next week and find?
Obviously, you're hoping for a huge step in performance. You never can tell. You know, this car is a lot better than last year's car. You can just looking at it, it's much better put together. There's much nicer detailing. Aerodynamics is the really important thing, and that you never know until you drive it, and then you never know how good you're going to go, because it's relative. It's how good other people have done their homework over the winter as well. So it's, we've done I think a good job with this. We'll see what everyone else has done with their cars over the winter.
Compared to the car that you had at the end of last season, what has been the input from your point of view into the winter?
Well, I don't think it's my input. Everyone knows what makes a car go faster. More power makes a car go faster. Less weight makes a car go faster, and more aerodynamic efficiency makes the car go faster. The key things in the CFG. So we've improved all of them, which was something that we didn't do from 2000 to 2001. We lost out in a lot of things. This year we've actually gone a lot forward in all them areas, so the car will go faster. There's no doubt about that. How much in comparison to other people, we have to wait and see. We can talk, but the bullshit stops when the flag drops. That's what we got to wait on and see.
Is it a case then for Jaguar of being just a little less conservative than they were last year?
I don't know whether we were too conservative. I think really, there was so many changes that really it wasn't a great environment to take a car to the limit. I think this year we've had the team together a lot longer. Steve Nichols joined at the beginning of last year. Mark Hamford joined at the beginning of last year, and with the people that were already here, I think they've had a year to get to work together, to understand how each other worked, and get different ideas from all these various inputs, and come up with the car we've got now. And I think that's always a better formula than something that's just happening at the last minute. So, as I say, we got to wait and see. But it looks a lot better. There's a lot more thought going into this car than last year's car.
Obviously, from your experience at Ferrari, stability is an important thing. If you're going to win world championships, you come very close yourself. How far away is this package, do you feel, in terms of the overall team and everything else involved, like the new people coming on board, etc.?
Well, I think over the race weekend, I think we do a good job. Our chief race engineer, Mark Ellis, pushes hard. He's a real worker, and I think we do a good job once we get the car to the race. The problem is the car's not quick enough, really. Last year's car wasn't, and Formula One's about speed. Our reliability probably wasn't as good as it should have been either. So I think if we can get a good car to the race team, I think they're capable of doing a good job with it at race weekends. So it's up to us back at the factory to provide them with the equipment to do the job.
What are your own realistic aspirations for 2002?
I want to be on the podium again in Monaco. That was fantastic. I've been on the podium 4 times out of 5 years, so I want to continue that little run. I want to qualify in the top 10. If I can qualify in the top 10, if we can continue the race performances that we had last year, we'll be scoring points regularly. Michelin have been fantastic. Their first year in Formula 1 last year was incredible. I think they're going to be our ace card. It's a shame McLaren went to them. It's another car that's got that advantage, but I think they've done a great job for us, and I think that'll continue. And hopefully, as I say, this car is the step forward that we believe it is.
And is your own personal motivation the fact that obviously you want that world title as much as anybody else, but you you can win races if given the right package? Do you feel as though that's your motivation, is to put as much as you can into the team so that they can give you something that will allow you to win a world championship?
Well, that's the reason I came here was to take the team from the state it was in to where it's got to go to. We're probably 2 years behind schedule. We came here, I came here and I thought things would have happened quicker, but there's been a lot of changes, and I think now we've got the right people in the right positions, in the management, and now we can start broadening the depth of technical people. So I think this is the start, really. Now is what I believe, and I think it's going to take time for sure, but I'm looking forward to this year, take on Ferrari and McLaren. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think we want to beat the BARs, we want to beat the Jordans, and that second division, we want to try and get ourselves to the top of that. It's difficult, because we don't have our own wind tunnel yet. There's one coming soon, but it's not there yet. And we probably have a few things more going against us than the other second-tier teams. So life's a bit more difficult for us, but I know everyone at Jaguar's up for a fight, and we had some great races last year. Qualifying was always pretty much a disaster, but with some great races, and I think if we can hold on to the great racing ability of the car and improve the qualifying performances, I think we can be a big force to be reckoned with.
And for your fans, when do we expect you to be, like you say, trying to get that podium? When you got it at Monaco, do you think you'll be getting there?
Well, we got it at Monaco. We have to obviously rely on problems of other people. We can't qualify in the front row of the grid and race to the podium. I don't think we're in that position yet. Maybe we are. We could be a little bit fortunate with this car, and it could be a real stormer. But realistically, you have to say we're not at the level of the very top teams. We're just below that, and we want to be there when they have problems, so that we pick up the podiums, we pick up the points when the big teams have the problems.
Thanks a lot.